Hey all, welcome back to Awful Stories. I'm Michael, and make sure to leave a like and subscribe for daily videos. The first was made in the relationship subreddit by a user named Rita Aguirre. The post is titled, "My dad physically restrained me during an argument. I escaped, and now I'm questioning whether I should ever speak to him again." Earlier this year, my 30F mom, 72F, separated from my dad, 73M, and I started seeing him differently. Growing up, I thought he was brilliant, but I now see he never considered anyone else's opinion, argued endlessly and philosophically, never reached resolutions, and often discredited me or my mom. He was diagnosed around age 70 with schizotypal personality disorder and hemicrania continua. I try to take that into account, but his behavior has gotten worse over time. I have been living abroad for the past 4 years, and I regularly visit. I was visiting him for a few days this month. During one of his never-ending talks, I told him I think he behaves like a victimist narcissist because he reframes everything so that he's the victim, discredits my feelings, and never takes responsibility. He did exactly that. He denied everything, accused me of being the narcissistic and victimistic one, and discredited my own experience of having lived 26 years with him, which led me to identify that pattern and express it to him with examples. He was not happy about what I said, but I eventually had to cut the conversation off because I had other commitments. Later that day, after I finished my commitments, he came to my room and insisted we continue talking. I refused and tried to leave. He blocked the door, grabbed my arms, and started screaming. His face and eyes looked almost possessed. He wouldn't let go. I screamed at him to release me, but he held on tighter. For the first time in my life, I was genuinely afraid of him and feared for my life. I have never been in a fight before, and the first fight of my life was with my own dad. The one person who was supposed to protect and support me was instead the person making me fear for my safety. I tried to get free without hurting him, but he ended up stepping on something and fell. I helped him up, hoping it would calm him, but it didn't. I attempted to pack while he kept grabbing me. Finally, in panic, I saw his arm reaching for my neck, and I bit him and pushed just enough to break free. I ran out the door and as far as I could before stopping. Later, he called my cousin, 30F, saying my mom and I were against him, conveniently leaving out that he physically restrained me. The next morning, I returned with my older cousin, 51F, and uncle, 80M, to collect my things. When I walked in, the same arms and nails that had dug into my skin the day before were now reaching out to hug me. He acted lovingly, as if nothing had happened. I said no firmly, which he immediately used against me by telling my uncle, "Do you see how she is with me?" He followed me around, tried to block me again, but I stayed focused on leaving. If my relatives hadn't been there, I believe he would have tried to stop me again. It's been almost 2 weeks. I've blocked him. I don't think an apology would be sincere, and I'm scared of what he might say if we speak again. I'm planning to start therapy to process this, but I would appreciate advice or experiences from anyone who has been through something similar. Broken Paw said, "There is no should here. Which option will make your life better, seeing him again or removing him from your life? No one here can tell you which choice will allow you to sleep at night. If you decide that you want to see him again, don't do so without someone accompanying you who can help if he becomes violent again. If you decide that you don't want to see him again, that's entirely valid. You don't owe him anything. Choose the option that will help you build a future for yourself in which you will be happiest living." To this, OP said, "Thinking about which choice will allow me to sleep at night really made me reflect. Thank you for taking the time to read and respond." Ditraz said, "Considering your dad's diagnosis combined with his advanced age, I suspect that it's not so much that your dad wants to be difficult. He simply cannot behave any other way. In his mind, his behaviors make sense and are rooted in very real stimuli and provocations. To him, you and your mother truly are conspiring against him. You are a threat to his safety, and he must proceed accordingly, whether that means masking his fear with syrupy affection or physically attacking you to prevent harm to himself. His reality is just very, very different from yours. That doesn't make dealing with him any less frightening, of course. He may understand his own internal logic, but he can't explain it to you, and you're going to have a very hard time anticipating his reactions to thoughts and experiences you can't see. You will have to proceed as if he is cognitively impaired, because he is, and plan for what you'll do when he's no longer capable of feeding, bathing, or cleaning up after himself. That day is probably coming sooner rather than later. Whether that means some form of contact or contactless care arrangements, it will likely fall to you to make decisions for him. Regardless, the father you knew as a child is not coming back. He could not, even if he wanted to. There will likely be more incidents in your future if you don't take precautions around visits, should you choose to visit at all. And for what it's worth, I'm terribly sorry. One of my own parents went through something similar with their mother, and it really is uniquely painful to mourn a parent or grandparent who is still alive. These disorders have a nasty habit of worsening slowly, and then very, very quickly. Whatever positive personality traits they once had disappear as they're consumed by anger, paranoia, and delusion. They're just gone, and all you can do is try to make them as physically comfortable as possible as you wait for the end. I hope you have the support you need as you navigate that process. The second story for today was made in the relationship advice subreddit by a user named SJSJ. The post is titled, "How do I tell my husband I just got diagnosed with genital herpes? My husband and I have been together for 5 years and we just had our second baby 4 months ago. I have been experiencing severe postpartum anxiety since shortly after our baby was born. Last week, I thought I had a UTI and was in excruciating pain. I went to the obstetrician who said she actually thought it could be herpes. I have never had herpes in my life. I told her that, and she said that it is possible I have had it and the virus has been dormant for years and that severe anxiety can trigger it. I was sure she was wrong but was waiting for the results. I told my husband about it and he also told me he had never had herpes. Again, we've been together for 5 years. I feel like we would have known if one of us had it. I got a call from the doctor today who confirmed it is herpes. I am mortified and I don't know how to tell my husband. I know it probably sounds silly, but I'm worried it will gross him out. Maybe I've had it for years. Maybe he did and gave it to me without knowing it. Whatever it is, I do have it right now and it makes me feel awful. We are very open with each other and I know he would never get mad at me or anything, but I just feel so embarrassed and I'm scared to gross him out." Edit, it is HSV1, so that would be from mouth to genital, not genital to genital. Edit 2, I have not cheated on my husband. I have 2 kids under 2 and have been busy with diapers and not messing around with other men. I love my husband very much and I'm also positive he has not cheated on me. It's an understatement to say that OP is going through a really tough and vulnerable time, dealing with severe postpartum anxiety and the shock of a herpes diagnosis she never expected. The mix of physical pain, emotional strain, and the fear of how to share this news with her husband is a heavy burden. Personally, in tough times, I think it's always the right thing to do to have compassion and empathy. This kind of diagnosis can hit hard, not just physically but emotionally, especially when it comes out of nowhere and challenges your sense of trust and normalcy in a relationship. I'm an overthinker, so if I were in OP's shoes, I know my heart would be in my stomach right now. But often, the best thing to do in those situations is to just come clean and speak your mind. Knowing that OP and her husband have been together for 5 years, they are bound to get through this. Insert clever name said, ask the doctor for a follow-up appointment and bring your husband. Ask her to explain how you might have contracted it, how long it can remain dormant, how to prevent outbreaks, and how to have safe sex with your husband. DP doctor said, herpes can lie dormant for years, so you could easily have had it all this time and simply not known about it. Talk with your husband, educate yourselves together, and refrain from sex during outbreaks. There are also medications that help, so go together to your gynecologist for further advice and treatment. This third and final story was made in the AITA subreddit by a user named Lovely. The post is titled AITA for not wanting to watch my sister change my niece's diaper. My sister, 30F, very recently gave birth to her first baby, and I, 21F, am now an aunt for the first time. It's also my first time experiencing having a baby in the family, so I'm having a lot of firsts in that regard. When my niece was released from the hospital, it was the first time I had ever held or touched a baby. I've been really supportive of my sister and trying my best. We've been talking about how eager I am to help her babysit my niece, play with her, feed her, etc. I've been hanging out with my sister a lot to keep her company and learning from her how to hold, burp, and feed the baby. There is just one problem. I'm a really squeamish person. I get grossed out and icked out by the smallest things, no matter how hard I try. From the first day my niece was home, my mom and my sister have been taking care of changing her diapers and always inviting me to watch, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. The thought of having to clean up poop and pee, having to smell it and see it up close brings out a terror in me I can't get over. I tried telling myself I should try for my niece, but yesterday when my sister told me to come watch, I started gagging and had to leave the room. It caused a bit of an argument about whether I can babysit or help with my niece without changing her diapers, and while it's true, I just feel like I can't do it. I still feel pretty pathetic about it. Is it wrong of me not to want to do it? Should I just try to suck it up? I honestly feel like a bigger baby than the actual baby in this situation. Edit. Thank you for the advice, everyone. I think I feel a little better and more confident to try again, knowing that it's okay if I'm not able to do it in the end. I'll also have a conversation with my mom and sister about being okay to babysit for very short periods of time, like half an hour in case it's really needed, and otherwise not handling long babysitting periods or babysitting at all. I hope they'll be understanding. Edit of the edit. Since a lot of people are saying babysitting isn't a good idea at all for any amount of time until or if I get over it, I will tell my sister I can't babysit at all unless someone else is there with me, unless I learn to deal with the diapers. Eubelicious the Wise said, "This is going to sound really condescending, but they're right. If you want to babysit a baby, then changing diapers is going to be a big part of that. If you feel grossed out by it, then it does make sense to try to desensitize yourself by watching it being done. If you can't do that, then babysitting is not an option. No one is at fault here. Either you need to suck it up or accept that you won't be babysitting until your niece has a lot more bowel control. You may need to wait until she's a teenager, as toilet accidents, vomit, and such come as a part of the package and can remain an issue for a long time." Sweddle said, "No one is at fault here as long as you understand that you won't get to babysit at all, even for an hour, even for half an hour, until she is toilet trained at around 3 years old. Children don't pee and poop on a schedule. You can't know when they will or won't need a diaper change, and if she needs a diaper change, it's not okay to make her sit in it for half an hour until someone comes home who can change it. That can cause horrible infections and diaper rash. So if that's the case, you need to accept that you're not going to get to babysit at all and that you probably won't be as big a part of her life because someone will always have to be there with you. So don't argue about whether you can babysit. You can't. It sounds like you have a phobia of pee and poop, and it's not in your control. You should try and overcome it. But if you try a few times and vomit every time, then you can give up. You haven't even tried yet. A diaper with pee in it doesn't smell, and you don't have to touch it. You have a phobia based on your imagination of what it will be like. You don't even know for sure. I think your family will ease up a little if you at least try once.